everybody. Welcome to this free training on how to get started with a thriving writing career in just 4 weeks. Yep, that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I'm thrilled to have Pam Foster with us. Hi, Pam.
Hi, everybody. Welcome.
And you've been through this training. You live this training. You are the poster child of this training. So I'm really excited to be having this conversation. We're going to run through some slides and just outline what could be obstacles, what could be green lights that are telling you to go now. And then we're going to really actually walk through this plan that we have that we've been doing for a few years now. And, I've seen really incredible results. So Jess, if we could get the slides up, we're going to jump right in. All right. So here's our promise. We're going to show you how to get started with a thriving writing career in just 4 weeks. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Our goals are to just discuss about why now is the time of the writer, why now is such a ripe and opportune time, and that there is actually a resurgence coming in 2026 like we've never seen before. We're going to talk about the core of copywriting, which is what AWAI is all about. It's about persuasion and the structure, and once you know it, how it translates into any type of work you would like to do. We're going to talk about the 5 most in-demand projects right now, and that's one of Pam's specialties. And we're going to talk about this opportunity for us to help you build a portfolio that with those 5 projects in them. So not only will you have the experience of having done them, you'll be able to show them as samples if when the opportunity arrives. Before we get into that, Pam, this is something we talk a lot about at AWAI because it's something we're really focused on, is trying to help people knock out, eliminate, understand what could be holding you back right now. You're with us. The fact that you're with us means this is something that excites you. This is something that you want. You want to build your own writer's life. So I want to just, not get too deep here, but just spend a minute or two thinking about what it could be that's holding you back right now. And let's see if we can address it. Let's see if we can at least put it at bay and not let it stop you from moving forward. So Pam, here are just a few of them, but what have you got?
Well, we hear this a lot. And actually, I've been with AWAI as a member for 20 years. And I remember these feelings myself over time. And I've been on staff for 10 years. But we get these kind of comments all the time from newer writers who are just not sure. And, there's so much to this that's exciting and fun, but it also can be overwhelming at times unless you have guidance from our team. So like, which path is right for me? I could write 80 different projects for clients. Where do I begin? Or I like different kinds of markets and industries. So how do I pick the right path? So that's a hurdle. What if I'm not good enough? We hear about that a lot. And you have to trust us. Clients have no idea how this works. So when you're studying with us, you already know way more than they do. So we're going to kind of nip that in the bud. I don't feel ready. You know what? The best time to just dive in and try it is now. And we're going to show you how you can do that and get over that hurdle of when am I ready?
Right.
You may be ready tomorrow. You may not ever feel ready, but if you just act, then you can, get close.
Exactly. It's actions, it's practice, it's feedback. It's all of those things that reinforce that, yeah, you are good enough. You do know these skills. These skills are proven and learnable. And you're ready when you jump in. And procrastination is another big thing that we hear so often, and it takes many different shapes, like How can I find time to get this done? Who will answer my questions? What, if anybody, coming up with all these barriers that, are manageable. I'm not dismissing them because they are real feelings, but
Absolutely.
they're manageable, and with help, with guidance, with accountability, you can overcome them. They don't have to be the person, or the voice or thought driving the car. They can be way in the back of the car, and you can be driving the car as a confident writer, knowing that you have the skills and insight and know how to reach out to people, know what to say, all of those things. And that's what we can help you do. And that's what this training is about. All right. Oops. Little trigger happy here. I want to get rid of all that stuff. And I want to talk about, why now is even more exciting than when we started 30 years ago. I have to say, been doing this for 30 years, and this is the most excited I've been about the opportunities for writers. And, and it really, it stems from stats, reports, industry news like this, that, global copywriting service market is estimated to reach $42.22 billion
With a
by
B.
2023. By 2030, it's at 26 billion now. So, you do the math. That's a big growth between now and just, 7 years from now. And it's the demand it's being driven by online content, the popularity of social media, and just the rising need for effective marketing strategies for copy that connects, even more so in this AI world. Many people say, oh, AI is knocking this all out. No, AI is actually, it's a great tool that's going to help you be more efficient, and it's going to be a helper. But it also gives you this opportunity to help companies not just turn out the bland stuff that everyone else that's using AI can do, and help you connect with their customers in a real and super positive way. So, Pam, why don't you just give us this
Yeah.
rundown of, these are just some of the things that companies need trained writers for.
Right, sure. And what's been interesting in the last couple of years is that AI became the be all and end all, and people thought, oh gosh, we can just use that and write copy. And they found that mainly it wasn't working so well. And a lot of it is because what they put into it was weak to begin with. And
Right.
so what they're getting out of it is kind of plain vanilla or the same as everyone else. And so the skills of writers, thoughtful writers, is coming back around, and clients are like, we need that. So they need writers who understand copy and content that actually works. That's touching the soul of the prospect, what they're looking for, a solution or a need, and really getting to the heart of how their solution can help, and really come up with unique stories and examples and all of the things that connect, and that resonate is the word I'm trying to come up with. And it can't come from a robot. It really needs to come from your brain, to understand the prospects and what their deepest wishes are when it comes to any kind of product or solution. And then how to write copy along the customer journey, which is basically how you guide a prospect from being totally unaware of your client's solution to seeing some content that piques their interest, and then bringing them into a newsletter or a webinar or something that gets them going in that relationship. And then they realize, oh my gosh, this is the right solution. All along that journey, copy and content play a role. And that's what you can help companies do. We talked about AI. We can't really replicate in AI so far, telling stories or talking to the founder or getting an insight into how something was invented. Those kinds of real trustworthy, solution-based stories are only things that you can pull out of clients. So it's pretty awesome in that way. And then clients do need people who understand how to use AI and edit it to make it less plain vanilla, or the word is sameness. And so as you understand the concepts of writing that actually works, then you can do that too. So there are jobs out there for writers. If you looked on LinkedIn, this is just a little quick snippet from LinkedIn, but there are jobs and jobs and jobs for writers. And it's really interesting. We thought it would be less so now with AI, but no, there's the resurgence, a boom
It's
right
a
now.
resurgence. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we're seeing it every day. Sandy Franks, who is our copywriting chief, she just found some more data that the jobs are coming up in a giant like fire hose of need out there because the AI alone didn't work. So, or mainly hasn't worked. So that's, very exciting. And writers have an opportunity to connect with clients who get that, but who don't know how to write. They know
Right.
they need really great, unique stories and content that resonate, but they don't know how to do that. And that's where
They
we
don't
come.
want to do that. They want
No,
to run their business. That this is not what they want to be doing. They want to hire people like us to do that for
right,
them.
right.
All right. So there's a huge, I mean, and we have so much data and so much more information about the need and the opportunity and the expansion of projects. But so you take our word on that, and let's move on to what prepares you for that. Because, and again, I'm moving pretty quickly here, so just because I want to give you this overview, and then I want to really dig into what we can do to help you, because that's why you're here. And but the main thing to take away from anything you ever hear from us at AWAI, any type of writing project, any type of client work, any type of work you do for yourself, anything that involves communicating with somebody, it's the key fundamental copywriting, fundamental copywriting insights and strategies that are at the core of all of those communications.
And I
Sorry,
just want to add, no, that's okay. I just
I'm a
want to
little
add,
foggy. I have a cold, so my words
oh,
aren't coming out.
I just want to add that those fundamentals have been around for, oh my gosh, over
Forever.
over 100 years. And AWAI has been around for 28 years teaching these core fundamentals, and they don't change because people are still people. They're looking for a solution that helps them. And there are companies out there that have great solutions. And that connection has never changed.
Right.
The media has changed and other things like that, but essentially we are still helping people find the greatest solutions for whatever they need.
You're still talking to one person, helping
Right.
them solve a problem. And that's at the heart of it. There are structures and there are ways to do it, but when you keep that in mind, one person that you care about to find a solution that they need or want.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our job. I mean, how cool is that? How cool is that? So we do have this free training available to you if you are brand new to us that I recommend you look at. It's on our website, and it's called What is Copywriting? AWAI's Essential Introduction to the Copywriting Industry. And it goes way more in depth than we are right now, as far as the size of the opportunity, the breadth of the opportunity, all of the thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of companies that use copywriting in every aspect of their business. So I definitely recommend you, if you're brand new to us, that you start with that. It's a fun read, it's a great read, and it's super, super exciting because, again, you're here because you want this. You're here because there's something telling you that this could be a great fit for you. Then our other, once you decide that, yes, I want this, I want to explore this, I want to see how this can make me a better writer, a better thinker, a better communicator, I want to use those skills and those insights and to build a career for myself. The first, the best place to start is the AWAI method. This is based on our 28 years. Our teaching methodology is second to none. It's the foundation for any copywriting or content writing you will ever do. It combines the proven strategies, the fundamentals of timeless rules, but we bring in the current stuff. We bring in the copywriters who are actually doing it, and you learn from them as well as from us. There's classics, there's currents, and there's hands-on assignments. So you are getting real-time feedback on the things that you're learning. There's tests, there's and then you actually turn in these 5 assignments. Pam, you had such a big hand in creating this. So, what do you have to say about your baby here?
Well, I think that what is eye-opening for anyone who hasn't studied copywriting is that there are certain principles and formulas that work like gangbusters, no matter what kind of project you're writing. So if you're writing a blog, there are certain formulas that work than just writing willy-nilly. And if you're writing a sales page to sell a product, there are certain structures and formulas that have worked since direct mail began in 1920, whatever, and how to understand the prospect is covered here, how to understand the connection you can make, and then guide them to making a decision. And it's a very simple structure, really, but until you understand the method behind that, it's hard to just sit down and start writing. And that's why this program has been our flagship. When I first started AWII, it was really direct response sales letters. But now it's evolved, of course, with the web into so many different projects that touch prospects. From social media and video and on, web pages and websites. Every one of those, if you're doing the right thing and following the principles of what works, they can be so much more effective. So that's what we go through. We break it down and we show you the formulas that work, and we have you practice. And so you really get it into your head. I can do this. I can talk, I can write a headline that really grabs attention and has a unique message. So that's what this program is all about. It's so much fun. Yeah. I love it.
And it gives you insight into how the business works. It demystifies it all. And I love this. I'm seeing in the comments, Mary Gwen's here. Hi, Mary. She's been with us for as long as you have, Pam, like 20 plus years.
Wow.
And she's saying, friends, take the leap. It's a great career. And Mary has had an amazing career in the fundraising space. So that's really fun. I'm trying not to get distracted by the comments, but that definitely jumped out at me. So happy to see you there. And, when you're doing this, anything that you do with AWAI, and again, Mary and all these friendly faces that I'm seeing in the chat, you are part of this community that where if you get stuck, if you have questions, if you have something to celebrate, we're there. We're your family as far as that goes. So you're not only learning all of these fundamentals for success in this industry, you're not only learning a professional new career that will turn you into a professional writer, but you have this group of colleagues and friends and mentors and that are just you're part of the fold now. Once you're in, you're in. So that's something I'm very proud of actually about AWAI, that's something we've really fostered.
And I wanted to mention one more thing too. We have a whole section on getting clients and what clients are looking for. And how to reach them. So it's not just the skill of writing, but it's also how to use that skill to help clients and with them. Yeah.
Oh, and these are just some of the principles that we go into depth here that you understand. And it's so fun because you're going to start recognize them in emails that you read or websites that you go to. But, we're all about solving problems, helping people. It's not the selling. No, nobody has on a salesman's hat and like, let me sell you this used car kind of thing. I mean, that's the exact opposite of the type of communicating that we do. There's things like the rule of one. Once you learn that, it's going to change the way you think. It's going to change the way you communicate. It's going to make you so much more effective in how you present ideas and how you think in terms of moving somebody through an argument. You know, like Pam said, all about knowing who you're writing from, meeting them for where they are, knowing what may have come, you know, knowing to ask and to wonder and to think about where are they along their journey? What have they seen? Or, you know, how much do they even understand about what you're offering before they even get to whatever it is that you're writing? And then what are the next steps? And that's so much fun because, again, it makes everything multidimensional and it makes everything so real. You know, USP, a clear offer, all those fundamentals, headlines, leads, what each of the sections of a sales argument does. You know, we go into great detail there. And then as you're learning, you're applying. So that's why this is our flagship. This is the first thing we tell everyone to study if they have decided that, yes, I want to be a copywriter or a content writers. So, you know, now that we have that fundamental program, that we have that flagship program, we did think, and you know, you do it on your own and it's fun, it's interactive, it's bite-sized pieces, but we did challenge ourselves to try to think, well, how can we help people actually get through the program quickly and efficiently? How can we add even more value and depth to it? And how can we knock out some of those things that we talked about, the procrastination, the fear, the question, you know, all those doubts that actually keep you from moving forward. So we came up with this training that we pretty much do just once a year or so. Whenever the stars line up and we're able to do it. And I'm so excited that we're able to get one in before the end of this year. It's called 4 Weeks to Pro. And over 4 weeks, we have 8 sessions, 2 each week, a schedule that is, I don't want to say aggressive, but it keeps you on track. It helps you be accountable. That's the biggest thing that I've heard from people is that I had my appointment to show up to class. I did my homework beforehand. I did the work and I moved. There were no reasons not to. And, you know, part of that is because we have a lot of fun during the sessions. But we also bring in copywriting pros that you really wouldn't have the chance to interact with. You wouldn't really have the chance to get inside their brains and hear their thoughts on how you tell a good story, their thoughts on how you actually go from, you know, showing all your proof to actually asking for the sale. So that we got all these extra insights and success tips. There's a private community on Facebook, which is super positive and encouraging and welcoming. You get a certificate of completion. And the big thing is we're going to do this in 4 weeks.
Right.
So Pam, anything just to add to that overall? And then I want you to talk about the 5 projects that you will work on with you during these 4 weeks that you will be accomplishing and you'll be getting feedback on.
Yeah, I have seen over the years, we've done this for a few years now, the live companion part, and people who've been through it are so excited. I finally got this done. I don't know how many, I mean, I even am guilty of opening a program, starting it, and then life gets in the way and I get busy and distracted. But that's happens to a lot of people. So when they join us live over 4 weeks, like it's done in 1 month, bada boom, bada bing, you're ready to go. You know, you have samples.
We know you get to answer questions. We have back and forth. I love that part.
Huge. It's huge because, you know, I joined AWAI to, you know, change my life, and I studied online, and that's cool. But being part of a group studying together, taking the journey together and accomplishing something together makes a world of difference. And you just think of by the end of November, before the holidays, well, after Thanksgiving. No, before Thanksgiving, actually.
Before Thanksgiving.
You will have gone through the program and you'll be all set to dive in, even in December or at the beginning of the year. You're going to have samples and smarts and
Confidence
a map
and
to go,
momentum.
go for it. So I think it's the best way to learn.
Okay, let's talk about these 5
Okay.
top in-demand projects right now.
Yeah. So, boy, today you can't just be a marketer or a company and use one model. Like, I'm only going to send out letters. No, no, no. There's like all these different channels. And as a matter of fact, I saw this one question lately that somebody said, how are you using all the 120 channels out there? And I can't even imagine the brain explosion of companies that can't handle all that. What we have learned is that it comes down to just a few, the few that are working for them, the few they can focus on. And quite often these are the few. And I would add video eventually, but blog posts, online ads, landing pages, which are like discrete, simple web pages that focus on one thing, emails, and then sales pages or sales letters. Those are 5 that pretty much every company is using. And then there's social media and video and a lot of other stuff too.
But this is the heart. This is the heart.
Yeah. So that's what we cover in the method and in our live companion series. We walk through those 5 pieces in detail, the principles behind how they work, and then you have a chance to write them. And then, bada boom, you have samples that are relevant to what most companies need today. So that's how we have structured the program. And we will walk you through in the live sessions how to really make those shine. So you're ready by the end of November. You've got some samples. It's amazing.
Yes. And now we talked about all the opportunities for copy and content writers. And this is something that we really dig into in the training so that you understand. But I'm just putting this up here as a visual of, first of all, the different stages of the sales journey. And this isn't even all of them, but these are the main ones. And all the projects that fall under them. And, obviously email falls under all of them. There's things that fall under all, but there's different degrees of education that's involved, of engagement that's involved, and sales that's involved. You start out in the very beginning of stage 1, where you're just trying to build awareness. You're trying to get people to raise their hand, say, yes, I want to know more about this. And all of these things listed here, blog posts, reports, ads, content, articles, newsletter, you guys can read the list. Yeah. All of those things can be written with the intention just to get somebody to say, yes, I want to learn more. Then there's the next stage is, once they say they want to learn more, then what's part of the conversation? And again, there's email series here. There's landing pages, web pages, newsletters, all of those things that, again, are building the relationship, are getting people to like, know, and trust your customers. And again, these are all super important and different. They all have kind of different objectives. And then finally, stage 3 is the direct sale. Okay, now that people have built the trust, they understand, they're informed, and yes, they want it. Well, you have to offer them ways to buy the product. And that's, sales letters, video, catalogs, magalogs, all the different longer form, typically, sales pieces that actually make a sale. And then, not everybody thinks about this, but this is just as important, is once a company has a customer, you have to keep them happy and engaged, and they're your best audience for selling additional products. So this is called retention. And, there's how-to videos, there's surveys, there's checking in to see how you're doing. There's case studies. There's newsletters on what's new and what's exciting. There's the next step in their journey conversations. So again, if once, now that you have this continuum in your mind, again, I want to challenge you to think about the companies that you deal with, the brands that you're a fan of, that you are a customer of, and where are you on the stage, and what is the copy and content that you're getting, that has come before, that you're getting now, and that once you take an action or do something, comes to you next. And again, just think about how many writers, what's involved with feeding that beast, feeding that machine, or as somebody, I forget who it was saying, putting those logs on the fire. These companies can't let the fire burn. There has to be new logs added to the fire all the time. And those logs are copy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about all these kind of big things, but we know that with new writers, and one of those things that can be a roadblock or a message in your head that, well, I can't do it because I don't have a portfolio. This training is designed to help you overcome that, kick it to the curb, and actually develop a portfolio, but also how to develop it with the idea of being able to replicate it for other potential clients. So Pam, do you want to just touch on that?
Sure. So we mentioned those 5 top things that most companies are using or should be using or want to use. And that's what we're covering in the class. So you could study the method on your own and go ahead and turn in the assignments. But we give you a concrete assignment for each one, and they're all part of a campaign. So suddenly you're a campaign writer. I can write different projects for marketing campaigns. But in the live sessions, we actually augment that with some insider tips from people who've been doing this for a long time. Paul Hollingshead, Jen Stevens, oh my gosh, Guillermo Rubio. They're going to tell you their like recipes for
tricks of the trade.
Yeah, in addition, and boy, those people are worth listening to because they are some of the top writers in our field. And so they're going to talk to you about how to apply the principles in their world. And boy, it's so much fun. I mean, Jen Stevens could talk for 3 days on how she has.
And I would and I've heard her. Yeah. I've had these conversations with her for 20 years. I've known Jen since we started, and I always learn something. I always get an insight. I always think, or I remember something that I forgot. That happens. And I do want to be clear, in these sessions, we're not going through the actual sessions of the method with you, like line by line, chapter by chapter. Where the expectation is that you will have read like two of the sessions, 2 of the sections before we meet. And then we have broader conversations about the topic, about the principle, about the fundamentals. So, it's you are still going through the program on your own, but there's a schedule, there's these deeper insights, and there's a whole new level of accountability. So again, just to be super clear about that.
Plus you can ask questions. So that's the great thing.
Yes.
Live, while we're all together in class. And then the feedback part is after you've written the assignments, you can turn them in and you'll get professional review and feedback. So your portfolio will be sharp. And that's the whole goal, is you will have 5 pieces of copy that you've written, you've gotten feedback, you've really, thought about the insights from our experts and, how can I apply that clever thing? And then you'll have your portfolio. So I love it. Yeah.
And of course, like Pam said, there aren't everything that we teach. We are so mindful of the reason you want to learn this skill is because you want to earn a living. You're here because you want to be a professional copywriter. You want to be in the business of writing. And to be in business, you have to get paid. You have to earn money. So we always bake in how you leverage the skills to land clients. But in this particular program, it has a really big place. And we do put a lot of emphasis on it. And we bring in the one and only Elise Benin to help you set up a repeatable system, help you demystify the whole process, help you humanize the whole process, and actually start working before you even actually know it. You know, you think you're just kind of making little reach outs on LinkedIn, but more times than not, people have said, oh my God, this has actually landed. This has actually turned into something. And it's because of this very smart and tactical and non-threatening and easy to do system that she creates. And she just brings it to life and walks you through it. You know, she likes to refer to herself as baby steps Benham, because it does feel so like you're doing these small things, but before you know it, you are up and running. So we're really excited that this is part of this training, and that we have Elise to come in at the end of our time together and actually bring it to life and answer any questions, and really roll up her sleeves with all of us, and make sure that there is nothing standing in your way.
Right.
Okay, so this is all the reasons. This is how we can say goodbye to the procrastination. Say goodbye to anything that is holding you back, whatever excuses. And I'm not trying to bully anybody, but let's face it. If this is something you want to do, now's the time to do it. Why wait? Why wait? Why start the new year with still having to get started? Why not do it now and then start the new year up and running? I guess I would like to hear what could be holding you back. If you want to just put it in that comment, the chat session, is there something besides time, motivation, fear? Let's call it out, and let's see what you got, what's on your guys' minds as far as what could be in your way. I hope I'll be able to see these. Do we have anything?
I don't know. I can throw in.
Yeah, you can't see it at all.
Yeah.
Jess, am I in the right spot?
I think time is a big one. I know several writers who have made it work, even with a full-time job, even with young children. You just pick an hour each day and make it sacred in your calendar. Like, you guys aren't going to bug me. This is my study and progress time for this dream of mine to be a paid writer. And they just find a way. And then if you have more time, if you're recently retired or something, that we see a lot of members who join us after retirement, and they're like, I'm not ready to stop working. I love working, or I really want to write for something I care about, maybe a cause or an industry that, we have an example of someone who was a nurse and she was retired from that, but wanted to write about RV travel, which is the lifestyle she and her husband moved to. So the motivation to get behind something you'd always wanted to do, we will help you with that. That's part of the deal baked into this. So
really, okay, I am seeing some come up now. So thank you for everybody that is participating. I know sometimes it's a little unnerving to do this, but Ronald's, I'm going to kick that one to the curb right away. His block is using LinkedIn. Well, Elise walks you through it in the most painless, easiest, quickest to gather, quickest to apply way there is. And plus, we have some really great free trainings on LinkedIn if you go to our website. So that one, that's just learning something new, and I know you can do that. Yeah. We're getting money and time, and I understand that. But as far as time goes, we are condensing this in the shortest amount of time possible for the most efficient use of the time that you do have. Obviously, it's always great to attend the sessions live, but they're recorded, so you can do them at your convenience if your job or life doesn't allow you to be available at those times. But again, as far as time goes, if you don't have the time now, when will you have the time? Time is one of those things that you just kind of have to elbow your way into and make it work for you. Money, again, if this isn't something that we do have payment plans and we've made it as affordable as possible. But if this investment isn't right for you right now, then I'm going to say don't do it. We never want anybody to have any kind of financial stress. And again, I would focus on our free resources, and I would think about in your life, what can you do even outside of writing that can relieve some of that pressure for you, and so that you can get a little bit of a cushion so that you can give your writing career kind of the time and space that it needs without having that money pressure under you, because that's a hard one. Fear. I'm seeing this from a couple people. I'm so glad
we will dissipate that fear.
I am so glad you guys actually called that out. And the only way I can help you with that is to actually walk through it with you. You won't be doing this on your own.
Right.
You'll be able to ask questions. You will be surrounded by a very welcoming and supportive community. We can handle the fear as it comes up. I'm curious what it is that you're fearful of, but I promise you, if you take this first step, we can address the fear points as they go along. I ask you to really think hard about, what's the cost of that fear? What's the cost of trying this and maybe getting rid of that fear? So I want to ask everybody about that.
We have a question. What are the dates and times of classes? Can I just share that? Because it's
yes, please.
Next Monday, November 3rd at noon. And every class is Monday and Wednesday at noon Eastern time on Zoom live. But if you can't make every class live, we record everything, so you can go and watch at your convenience.
And there's a Facebook group, and you can always email us too if something comes up.
Right.
There's a couple of confidence and a scarcity mindset. This is what you need. I really, Alicia, I want you to know, this is going to build that confidence. You're going to realize how much knowing these systems and strategies helps your confidence. And as far as the scarcity mindset, again, you're going to see that the environment that we're in right now, it's actually the opposite. It's an abundance mindset. There's so much work available. So again, I'm so glad you're naming these things, but give us the opportunity to help you turn them upside down and realize that they are no reason to stop you from trying. They're don't let those kind of fears keep you from your dreams, keep you from what you're looking for.
Yeah. And the last one I just want to address, because I can see them now, is the worry about being terrible or failure. That's what this program is all about, because you will get feedback on your writing. You will know how to write each of those pieces. We're going to walk through that very specifically. Then you turn it in and you get professional feedback. So everyone gets, isn't perfect out of the gate, of course. And we're not all perfect after 28 years of doing this. But the thing is, that professional feedback and camaraderie is going to help you feel more confident in your work and like, oh, I can do this.
Of course. Yeah. And just so everybody knows, I don't think there's anything as a final first draft. I've been working with copywriters for really 40 years. I've been with AWAI for 30. It's a collaborative process. It's back and forth. I just got a wonderful letter from the amazing Paul Hollingshead. And, we had edits for him. He's going back. He's going to make changes. It is part of the process. It's how everybody makes things better. And, fear of leaving the comfort of your job. We're not going to force you to leave your job. It is all on your terms.
Yeah.
Many people just use this as a supplement, or it's just because they love and they feel purpose and fulfillment for doing this. But there's no saying that you have to make any kind of change. But how great to have this in your back pocket, that if something were to change with your job that's out of your control, the thing about learning these skills sooner rather than later is it just gives you options. It gives you choices. It gives you fallback plans. It gives you a broader sense of security. So I think that's really invaluable, honestly. So Jackie, I signed up for the AWAI method. Yes, this is the AWAI method. And when you sign up for this training, you get the AWAI method. This training is in addition to, it's where we actually walk you through it in live training. So it's based on the AWAI method, and it's where we do a deep dive into it and bring in all these other things. But if you have the AWAI method and you're getting through it and you're doing it and you've done the assignments and all of that, that's great. And if you want to join with the training, you'll probably have a head start. And it's always a great way to revisit the program through the eyes of all these experts that'll be joining us.
And Jackie, to add it to your account with us, check with our member success team to make sure that happens, so you won't buy it twice or something. Just to make
sure.
No,
we don't want you to do that. Yeah. Talk to member success, and they can just have this as an addition to what you have. You won't be buying it twice. It's unrealistic to think that you can. This isn't pie in the sky. This isn't overnight success. This isn't this is something that builds. And the reality is when you break it into these kind of segments, when you have somebody guiding you, when you have accountability, you can get through it quicker. And you can just make the whole process easier. And like I said, more fun, which is something. You will be, if you don't have any clients yet, you will be ready to start reaching out to clients by the time we're done. If you already have clients, you will have insights and ideas for how to increase the scope of the clients that you're working for, or maybe get new clients, maybe, get clients that have more budgets or more potentials or more opportunities for you. The other thing that I want everybody to this is just a you question. This is not about, nothing I can tell you or Pam can tell you. It's really up to you, and you have to answer for yourself. This is a new training. We offer lots of training at AWAI. Again, this is the foundation for everything that you do, and the fact that you have the opportunity to have us walk you through, I think is pretty special. But if it's between this and something else, or this and anything else, whenever anything comes up in your life, especially in your writing career, I just want you to ask yourself, does putting time, money, effort into it keep you on your path, or does it distract you from it? Do you actually have the time and money? Because if you don't, those aren't things that we can manufacture for you. But I think there are ways of negotiating all that, the time, especially the time part. But you have to ask yourself that specifically. And then the big thing is, what's at risk if you do this? And then what's at risk if you don't? And again, I think with this new year looming in front of us, that's a pretty good kind of line in the sand of, where you might be, or where you definitely won't be. So again, we want you to stay focused. Somebody else said focus was a challenge for them. Again, committing to do this with us will help you with that focus. Want you to, work on the one program, start with one sample, start with one contact. It's all one step. And then what's next? And then you build from there. And again, this is, if you need the kind of framework that we're offering here, this is going to help you do exactly that. Okay. So, again, I don't know how else to say it. I feel very passionately about this, as I hope is coming across. We would love to help you finish the year strong. And we would love to spend November with you, going through 4 weeks to pro, as only we can do with our resources and contacts and insights and energy, and bringing everything that we have learned and mastered over the last 30 years of what helps writers be successful. So that's it. Rebecca and I will be in the sessions. Pam is going to be in every session, being the wonderful host that she is, and bringing out the through lines. And then Rebecca and I think we alternate between the rest of them. So you'll get plenty of time with each of us. You'll get plenty of time with Pam, and you will have, again, access to these incredible experts that'll be joining us. Just a quick recap. It's 4 weeks starting on Monday. So we are jumping in, and an hour for each session, twice a week. We're going to bring the concepts of the AWAI method of winning persuasive copy and content to life with insights from guest experts. We're going to, you're going to work on real life assignments, but we're going to be encouraging that. And we will, there'll be feedback for you. We'll answer any and every question you have about what you're learning, about the fears, about the concerns, about what you're excited about what to say to a client, all the stuff. Any question that you have related to your copywriting career, you will have our attention for. You're going to be part of this great community and get feedback on your writing as you build your portfolio pieces. You're going to get professional grade skills, the portfolio, the confidence, knowing you can do this job, unlimited support, and again, help finding the kind of clients you'd like to work with to build a beautiful writing career. Here's the link. It's www.awai.com/4-week mentorship. 4-week mentorship. So, and we'll be sending out a recording of this. So if you missed anything, if there's anything that you want to review, it will be available to you. I would love to see you. I'm going to be there with Mindy McHorse on Monday, and Pam, of course. We're going to be talking about Barefoot Writer and, the type of things she looks for when she hires writers, and some of the insights that we'll be using Barefoot Writer as an example to teach some of the strategies. I hope you join us. I hope you give us a try. And again, this is an opportunity to finish this program, to be ready to really hit the ground running in December or January. But it's not going to be something you have to start, that you will start. This will be something you will have finished, which I think is huge. Pam, anything to add? I can't hear. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Based on members who've been through this before and what I've seen, it really is the way to get it done. Let's just get it done. Let's not think about it anymore. Just dive in with us. And in 4 weeks, by Thanksgiving, you will have gotten it done. And imagine how great that will feel. I know that sometimes that extra live movement together on a course is just the greatest way to make things happen, because it schedules your time and it keeps you going, and you're building on your momentum, and then you're done. Check that off your list. So I hope you will join us, because it's a lot of fun too. And it augments so much of what you're learning. So I hope you will be there.
Beautiful. And I'm seeing a few questions here. Mark is asking, saying, I live in the UK. Can the course help me secure clients here too? Absolutely. These are universal. We have quite a few, quite a few members that live in the UK specifically, and really throughout the whole world. So these are universal. They work for if you want to write for UK companies, or if you want to write for companies that do business with Americans. Again, the human principles apply in any case. So I wouldn't worry about that. And again, the way you find clients, it's the same process as well. Well, deadline for joining. Well, we're starting on Monday, so you have to join before then. I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't put it off. I believe it's Thursday or Friday, but we're going to hit the ground running here. Somebody's asking, do we cover getting clients in detail? Yes, we do. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's everything. Somebody's saying that they went through this in January and wanted a review. This is perfect. Every time I do this program, I get a new insight. I learn something new. I think about copy and content in a new way. So I highly, highly recommend it as a review as well.
Yep. And I would say if you signed up for it before and didn't go through it, you still have access to that member page.
Yes.
Come on in.
Oh, yeah. This is a living program. Oh, that's a great point. So who was that?
Frank, but I have somebody else too. Yeah.
Lane. Yes, this is a living program, meaning that if we do it again, you will have access to it. Once you sign up, you can you can join us every time we do it live. So yeah. So Lane, I expect to see you on Monday.
And Frank.
And Frank.
Mark's asking if it's for beginners. It's for any level. If you've done some writing, this is great because it will reinforce what you know, and I'm sure it will add to your knowledge.
Yes.
And if you've never done any of this, it's for you too.
It's the way to start. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I think we're done here. We've said everything that we have to say. Although if anybody has any specific questions, you can always reach me at askkatie@awai.com. Same with Pam, pfoster@awai.com. But I'd love to really dig in, roll up our sleeves, and work together for the next 4 weeks. So I really hope to see you there. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for the great questions, the great participation. And let's do this.
Great. We'll see you Monday.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.